in the continued development agenda of this great state.
We're glad to have you with us on another episode of Gateway Diary. I'm Victoria Oniaye, and today we'll be highlighting some of Governor Abiodun's remarkable strides in advancing economic growth, uplifting lives and improving the welfare of the people of Ogun State. Here's a quick look at what's coming up on the program. Governor Abiodun announces construction of 12 900 capacity smart classrooms and hiring of 1,000 additional teachers to boost education in Ogun State. Awokoya Road in Ijebu-Ode gets major facelift as the state government ramps up efforts to construct more township roads across Ogun State. Plus, we'll take a closer look at the ongoing aviation estate project, another housing scheme near the Aerotropolis in the Peru area of the state. We've got all these stories and more coming your way shortly. The headlines from across the state, and now let's start off with our first story. The education sector in Ogun State has seen significant transformation since 2019 thanks to Governor Abiodun's dedication to improving infrastructure, hiring more personnel and supporting students. But what we've seen so far is just the beginning. The governor has now announced plans to digitize education in Ogun State with the construction of 12 900 capacity smart classrooms across the 3 senatorial districts. On top of that, he is bolstering the teaching workforce by hiring an additional 1,000 teachers to improve education quality across the state. Let's tell you more in this report.
Before 2019, suggesting that parents enroll their children in public schools in Ogun State was like offering ill advice to such parents. And who could blame them? That's because the state public education was crumbling, quite literally. The dilapidated buildings of many schools told the full story of several years of neglect, underfunding, and a lack of investment in education sector. Worse still, rural schools were particularly hit hard with retiring teachers not being replaced. The teacher-student ratio was also alarming and unsustainable. Then came a turning point in May 29, 2019. Prince Abiodun stepped into office as the state's chief executive. He is a man with a clear vision of governance, a leader who understands that education is the bedrock of progress. Governor Abiodun knew change was overdue in the state, but he did not know that the education sector needed a more drastic change. His first mission was to restore hope in a sector that was becoming hopeless. He began by breathing life back into existing school structures, making them habitable, learning-friendly, and well-equipped. And then he launched the Adopt a School initiative, calling on industries and well-meaning residents to join hands in rebuilding the crumbling education system in the state. Yes, that is what leaders with uncommon qualities do.
We have prioritized the education sector to be in first-line charge of our expenditure and in all our local governments and the states. We have moved to briefly, quickly bring bridge the deficit that we met on assumption of office.
Fast forward to today. More than 2,000 schools across the 3 senatorial districts of Ogun State have been transformed. These iconic yellow roof schools stand tall as symbols of renewed hope and commitment to education in Ogun State. More than just structures, they now inspire pride and a sense of belonging for students and teachers alike.
Governor Abiodun has made education to be at his front burner. He has not joked with education at all. I mean, a very good example is the way you will see the massive development he did with infrastructures in education, because that was his first agenda when he came in. Because in as much as I can say we have 2,089 schools, I'm talking of public schools, we didn't do anything less than, we didn't do renovation and reconstruction for less than 1,600 schools. So that's to tell you that, because you would have seen all our yellow roofs, and to me, that brought a lot of smiles. It changed a lot of people's mindset in our schools.
But it wasn't just about buildings. Realizing the dire need for more teachers, Governor Abiodun created the Ogun Teach Initiative. Through this, thousands of Ogun youths were first brought in as interns and later absorbed permanently into the state's teaching service. This not only addressed the teacher shortage, but also helped tackle unemployment in the state.
Also, the recruitment of Ogun Teach interns and upgrading them to permanent teachers is a promise made, promise kept. We were surprised on May Day, when it was not World Teachers Day. During your May Day celebration address, you came up and you told us that at the end of 2 years, Ogun Teach will be given permanent appointment. That shows you are committed. That shows you are committed to your promise. And since that time, I can tell you, sir, you have wiped away so many tears for most of the homes in Ogun State.
And the Governor, Dakwa Abiodun, is not stopping there. His determination to give Ogun children the best education has led to plans for the construction of 12 900 capacity smart classrooms spread across the 3 senatorial districts of the state. This innovation aims to bring digital learning to the heart of public education.
We will soon begin the construction of 12 900-seater smart classrooms, 4 in each of our zones. There will be 4 in each zone across our 3 senatorial districts. We'll be utilizing our 4 foremost schools.
To keep pace with the growing demands for teachers, Governor Dakwa Abiodun recently approved the absorption of another round of 1,000 Ogun Teach interns into the state's teaching service. This move is designed to solidify his commitment to ensuring that schools have the hands they need to shape young minds.
My desire, the desire of administration, to improve the student-teacher ratio, and in line with my promise to my very hard-working, appreciative, and consistent Ogun Teach, I today approve the engagement of 1,000 Ogun Teach who have distinguished themselves during the 2-year probationary period as permanent teachers and full employment.
Governor Abiodun knows full well that many schools in Ogun State still require attention. That's why he is not resting on his laurels. His latest brainchild, the Ogun State Education Intervention Fund, is set to fuel further rehabilitation efforts across the state.
I have also approved for the Ogun State Education Intervention Fund a special intervention fund. But we've realized the fact that SUBEB funding is not enough to cater for the infrastructural gap and decay that we have in Ogun State. Consequently, I have now approved for a sinking fund to be put in place, and that sinking fund will allow us to have a special task force that will now begin to renovate our public schools across the state.
There is no denying it. Governor Dapo Abiodun's steadfast commitment in education has sparked a much-needed revival in Ogun State's public education system, and the teachers and parents alike are commending him.
We are indeed and genuinely grateful for your administration commitment to and focus of the fortunes and welfare of teachers in the state. Yours has been an outstanding performances when compared to what your colleagues in other Southwest states except Lagos do. Our colleagues from those states, without a shade of doubt, can attest to this.
Governor Dapo Abiodun's leadership has obviously empowered both students and teachers, and he is breathing new life into the future of learning in Ogun State, the gateway to Nigeria.
Parents and students in public schools across Ogun must be buzzing with excitement. Now let's turn attention to infrastructure development, another sector where Governor Abiodun has been making great strides in Ogun State. Governor Abiodun says he is committed to reducing the infrastructure deficit in the state by focusing on the construction of township roads that directly connects communities. One of the latest projects making headlines is the ongoing construction of the Awokoya Road in Ijebu-Ode town. Let's take you on a trip there to see the situation of things.
Let's talk about road infrastructure and how Ogun State government is changing the narrative, shall we? In Ogun State, it is not just the major highways that are getting the much-needed facelift, but also the community roads are. These roads, which are vital to the state's economic growth and the well-being of its people, are finally receiving the attention they deserve, and at the heart of it all is Governor Dapo Abiodun. Governor Abiodun knows all too well the importance of good roads. He's fully aware that for years, these neglected roads have been the source of immense hardship and frustration for residents of Ogun State. These roads that should have connected people to opportunities instead became symbols of despair.
But many times you dream of a project. Dreaming and conceiving is one thing. Implementing is another thing. Implementing it and being given the grace to commission it is a totally different thing, and that requires the grace of God.
But driven by his vision and commitment, Governor Abiodun has tackled this challenge head-on. Under his leadership, more than 700 kilometers of roads have been constructed or reconstructed, cutting across the 20 local government areas of the state. That's a record no previous administration has matched.
Thus far, the Lord has taken us 600 kilometers of roads across the length and breadth of this state, equitably, fairly, and justly. Some of these roads, we met them, they were maybe 25% completed. Politically, people abandon projects that are in progress, inherited projects. People abandon them. But I made a promise. I said, any project that the collective Commonwealth of Ogun State citizens have been invested in, that's of economic importance, will be completed. Any. And you can see that I've diligently continued to do that.
And the work continues. Ogun State is still a bustling construction zone, with road networks, both state and federal, undergoing massive upgrades. Governor Abiodun is not leaving any stone unturned in ensuring that the state's infrastructure is a force for development. Take, for instance, the 1.4-kilometer Awokoya Road in Ijebu-Ode, located in Ogun East Senatorial District. This road, once a source of daily agony for residents and a hotspot for criminal activity, is now undergoing a total transformation. Before its approval for reconstruction, the Awokoya Road was riddled with massive potholes, causing businesses to suffer and making residents of the area vulnerable to security threats. It had become a no-go area and a lurking place for mischief makers.
This route used to be the kidnappers' probably den because of the potholes that we have around here. So I think many of the kidnappers around like to do their dirty works around here. And it's so terrible that I try my possible best to avoid even bringing in out my car.
But today, all that is history. The road is being revamped with asphalt being laid and a new face taking shape. The supervising engineer shares progress updates, highlighting the milestones already achieved and what is yet to come.
This is 1.4 kilometers. And it's sectioned into two. The first section is about 1.25 kilometers. That's 1,250. And the other 325 is 8-meter width, while the 1,250 is 14-meter width.
For the residents, this is more than just a road project. It is about restoring hope, boosting local businesses and reviving commercial activity that were once stifled by the poor condition of the road.
With the current situation now, I think it's a welcome development. I'm happy about it because it's going to really more expose the area in terms of good road network in Ijebu-Ode.
We thank God that it's now having a new look, and we appreciate the government for this.
As the residents express their gratitude to Governor Dakwa Abiodun, they know that this project means more than just a smoother commute for them. It signals a brighter future for their communities, a future that is filled with economic opportunities and growth. In everything Governor Dakwa Abiodun has done, one thing is clear. He is a man of his word. When he said he became governor to serve the people of Ogun State and make the state a thriving, prosperous economy in sub-Saharan Africa, he meant every word, and the reality is everywhere.
Before we wrap up this edition of the program, let's talk about housing development in Ogun State. Providing affordable quality housing is more than just a political achievement for Governor Abiodun. It is a heartfelt service to the people of Ogun State. Now his administration has already constructed over 4,000 housing units and transforming the lives of many families. But the governor's vision doesn't stop there. His latest initiative is the Aviation Estate, a housing development project designed to complement his investment in the Agro-Cargo Airport and Aerotropolis in Iperu.
Some persons, based on past experiences, may argue that government does not have any business being involved in providing affordable housing, but rather creates the enabling environment for the private sector to do so. But in Ogun State, one man is changing this narrative by not only providing houses at a subsidized rate, but also houses of quality, houses that open up communities that were not on the map of development in the state. The man who is doing all this is Prince Dakwa Abiodun, the 5th elected governor of Ogun State. Before he assumed office, his predecessors' attempt to provide affordable housing ended up being abandoned with only structures that would later be vandalized to show for it. But today, Governor Abiodun's commitment to building affordable housing is reflected in the construction of over 4,000 housing units across the state. These homes are not just numbers, they represent new beginnings for families, professionals, and businesses seeking a place to thrive.
To date, we've built about 4,000 houses in less than 4 years. 4,000 affordable houses. We've built more houses than all my predecessors combined together, ×2, since the creation of this state.
One of the most impressive examples of this success is the King's Court Estate, located not far from the governor's office in Okemoson. Another is the Prince Court Estate in Kobakwe, where more than 50 low-cost housing units now stand on a vast expanse of land designed for various categories of homeowners. And remember the once abandoned President Muhammadu Buhari estate in Kobakwe? It's back on its feet, boasting 115 nearly completed semi-detached and fully detached duplexes. With streetlights and proper roads now in place, this estate is poised to become a thriving community. But there is more. Plans are already in motion to add a children's park, a clubhouse, and other amenities, making it a fully integrated, comfortable neighborhood for everyone.
A very genius idea by this present administration. It's quite so astonishing hearing the fact that the Ogun State government is building aviation estate just right beside the airport. Because understanding the fact that the state government has actually let us understand that it's not just going to be an agro-cargo airport, it's also going to be open for international and local travels. So that actually speaks about how efficient that estate is actually going to be. Because looking at it from the economy part of it, that particular place is going to actually attract high-end clients.
It will create a kind of jobs. Some people that are needed jobs, like youths that needed job, 1 or 2 things, then the artisans, the electricians, or wherever. And even where there is a kind of aviation, which deals with the air stuffs, the aeroplanes and stuffs, and people who come from different states, different countries. It boosts the economy of that areas. The farmers will have something to sell. Whoever is selling markets there, or whoever having a business there, will have their business moved.
But Governor Abiodun is not stopping there. He is pushing the envelope even further. Let's talk about the Gateway Aviation Estate, an ambitious project just a few kilometers from the Gateway Agro-Cargo Airport and Ogun State's Aerotropolis. This estate sits close to the African Development Bank-supported Special Agro-Industrial Zone, making it an ideal spot for growth. This housing scheme is near and dear to the governor's heart. It is his way of complementing the state's massive investment in the Agro-Cargo Airport. It is not just about homes, it's about creating an ecosystem of opportunities.
Gateway Aviation Village is a specific development that tends to complement the effort of the state government within the Gateway Airport.
In the first phase of this housing scheme, 200 homes are being built, designed for people doing business within the Aerotropolis and those looking for an eco-friendly, peaceful place to call home.
And we had envisaged that people that will live within this environment, that will work within this environment, will definitely request accommodation. So we've sort of planned along with that, with the Agro-Cargo Airport's development. And to the glory of God, the houses are nearly completion stage. As of today, we are starting with infrastructural facility because the houses are already standing.
With all of this, Governor Dapo Abiodun isn't just challenging the old narrative about what the government should or shouldn't invest in. He is building an Ogun state that isn't just welcoming for Nigerians, but for anyone from around the world who dreams of living in a serene and well-planned community.
And that's the show for today. Thank you so much for spending your time with us. We hope you enjoyed every moment. Be sure to join us next time for another exciting episode of the program. Until then, I am Victoria Oniaye signing off. Take care and see you soon.